day 3. And here we have with us Dr. Ujjwal Kumar Kalla, who will be delivering on permanent magnet brushless DC motor drives for EV applications. And he will be discussing about the controllers. Dr. Kalla is electrical engineering graduate, and he has done postgraduate and PhD degree from IIT Delhi. And he's having a lot of experience in this area. Around 19 years of experience he's having, and he is having a lot of exposure to hardware making. That means hands-on practice of hardware making, and you can have the interaction of hardware making. He's having more than 50 journal and conference papers in IEEE transactions and other journals, and a lot of exposure to the area of controllers. So at present, he is associate professor with the Maulana Azad National Institute of Technology in our department. And it's our strength that we are having such an eminent personality with us. So I hand over the dash to Dr. Kalla, and he is one of the coordinator of this program also. So he will be discussing about the controllers of permanent magnet brushless DC motor drives for EV applications. Dr. Kalla, please.
Thank you, Dr. So, am I audible to all of you?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And my presentation also visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, it is visible.
So mainly my presentation is focused on the implementation aspects of the BLDC drive. Okay. After completion of this lecture, you may ask any question regarding the implementation of the any power electronic converters related to drives, and you may also ask any other question if you have regarding the implementation of these schemes in the area of power electronics and drives. Okay. So here first we will start with the PMBLDC motor drive. Okay, so PMBLDC motor drive is a special type of machine, okay, which requires an inverter for its operation. Okay. It is a special machine because of it may not be operated directly by conventional AC or DC power supply. Okay, so any machine which require some power electronic converter for its operation and may not be directly operated using some conventional AC or DC power supply, that machine is called a special machine. Okay, so like PMBLDC machine, SRM machine, stepper motor, all these are the special machines. So PMBLDC motor also comes under the special machine category. Nowadays, the PMBLDC motor has replaced number of other motors in number of applications because of having very high efficiency. Okay. Now throughout the world, people are emphasizing on the efficiency of the system. Okay, so because of all the domestic appliances are being rated by the Bureau of Energy Efficiency in India also. As far as in India it is concerned, there is Bureau of Energy Efficiency that is giving a rating to all the appliances being manufactured by the various companies in India and abroad companies which are having the manufacturing unit in India. Okay, so that is why all the companies are very much serious about the efficiency of the system, because of consumers also knows about the ratings, 3-star rating, 4-star rating, 5-star rating, like, okay, and the equipment without any star rating. So people knows nowadays. So because of the common consumer knows about the star rating, information about the star rating means people know that is somehow related with the efficiency, because if a common person is not very much aware about the technical terms of the systems, but they are very much aware about the star ratings because of they know if it is 5-star means that is excellent machine as far as energy efficiency is concerned. So now inherently the BLDC motor drives have better efficiency than any other drive. Okay, in normal working conditions. Okay, suppose someone has specially designed some induction machine drive, an induction motor drive, then their efficiency may be comparable with the BLDC drive in some applications, in some areas. Because of that, they also depends on the tuning and design of the machine, okay, and then mounting of the machines. There are so many factors which decides the efficiency of the machine. But if the manufacturer are the same and same knowledge people are having, then if the same machine is being developed by the same company, then definitely the PMBLDC motor drive will have better efficiency than any other motor. Okay, so that is why the PMBLDC drives are BLDC drives have replaced a number of other motor drives in domestic applications, particularly, also in industrial applications, like in air conditioners, mainly air conditioner, refrigerators, okay, and mixer grinders, okay. So in number of applications, this BLDC drive has replaced other machines, okay. So it is very important to understand the basic concept of this PMBLDC drive, okay. In this PMBLDC drive, there are number of windings, okay, and current to the windings is switched from one winding to another winding, then another winding to another winding, okay. And for that we require some inverter, okay. So using those inverter, okay, using that inverter, we continuously energize the windings of the BLDC motor in a particular sequence, okay, and at a particular rate, okay. So the inverter is made of IGBTs, okay. Now come to the inverter, okay. So because of we require some inverter, okay, for supplying square wave supply to the BLDC motor drive. So inverter may be made of transistor, it may be made of IGBTs, or it may be made of MOSFETs, okay. So as far as comparison of these three devices are concerned in real time applications, definitely MOSFETs are better, okay, as far as efficiency is concerned. As far as efficiency is concerned, MOSFETs are really better, but they have their own limitations. MOSFETs require a very sensitive and very complex gate circuitry, okay, because of robustness of MOSFET is very poor in comparison to IGBT, transistor, and thyristors, okay. So in order to have better robustness in the operation, and second limitation of the MOSFET is the availability of the voltage and current rating, okay. So MOSFETs are usually available up to 1500 volt only, okay. So if the voltage, operational voltage of your system exceed to 1500 volt or 1000 volt, it is very difficult to make available the MOSFET modules, okay. Then another limitation is the current rating, okay. So MOSFETs are available with very low current ratings, okay. For medium and high power rating, MOSFET modules are not available, okay. That is a very major limitation, because of if the rating of your system will exceed to 2 or 3 kilowatt, definitely you have to go for IGBTs only, okay. But the advantage with the MOSFET inverter is it has a very high switching efficiency, okay, so very less switching losses, okay. So because of it having very less switching losses at high frequency, and operating frequencies of the MOSFETs, possible operating frequency of the MOSFET is also very high, okay. So MOSFETs are available up to gigahertz range, okay, and IGBTs are available up to maximum up to 40 kilowatts, okay. But usually the IGBT modules are available up to 20 kilohertz operation only, okay. So but if you require IGBT up to 40 kilohertz, then you have to pay, definitely the cost will be very high comparatively. But however, it is technically possible in IGBTs if you want to increase the frequency of the operation up to 40 kilohertz. Another advantage you may take, that suppose if you are having a 20 kilohertz IGBT only, and if you want to operate your system at 30 kilohertz, that you also can do. You should, in that case, you should reduce the current. Suppose if you are having a MOSFET module, IGBT module of 100 ampere, and if you are operating the same module at 20 ampere only. So in that case, you may enjoy the increase of switching frequency up to 30 kilohertz even. Even if it is designed for 20 kilohertz, you may increase the 20, 30 or 40 or 50% frequency, okay, operating frequency, in case where the operating currents are very less in comparison to its rated value. Okay, if the operating currents are very less in comparison to the rated currents of the IGBT, in such cases you may exceed to the switching frequencies. Okay, because of switching frequency limitation is mainly also depend on the current level. Okay, so but if it is designed for 100 ampere and if you are operating your system at 90 ampere or 95 ampere, definitely you may not increase your switching frequency from 20 kilohertz. Then in such cases, if you will try to exceed, definitely you will lose your switches modules. Okay, and that is very costly affair. Okay, in sometimes in such cases, what you can do for that, what you have to do, you have to reduce the gate resistance, okay, of the driver. Okay, for that you have to reduce the gate resistance, because I mean usually in IGBTs gate resistance varies from 2 ohm to 20 ohm. Okay, so that is the nominal range for resistance for the gate circuitry in the IGBT modules. So by reducing the gate resistance, you may increase the operating frequencies. Okay, but at the same time, the stability of the system will become more and more poor. If you will reduce the gate resistance, definitely the frequency, operational frequency will increase. Okay, because of switching time will be reduced. Okay, because of gate resistance only decides the switching frequency. Okay, because of it only, it decides only switching frequency. So yeah, am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is my presentation is also visible?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
sorry for interruption. Okay, so that's the difference between the IGBT based inverter system and for the MOSFET based inverter system for the BLDC drive. Okay, so however, in MOSFETs, because of the switching losses are very, very less and possible switching frequency range is very, very high. So these are ideal for the low power applications, not only in drives, other types of inverter and DC-DC converters also. If your power rating of your system is very less, definitely you should go for the MOSFET, because of if you go for the MOSFET, you may enjoy the high switching frequency range, and not only you will enjoy the high switching frequency range, you will be able to reduce the size of your system significantly. Okay, because of the size of the capacitor and inductor in any system depends on the switching frequency. As we increase the switching frequency, the size of the inductors and capacitors significantly reduce. So another issue is also another issue related with this inverter system is also that if you will operate at high switching frequencies, okay, designing of inductor will also become difficult for high current ratings. Okay, if switching frequency is high and current rating is also high, in that case, and millihenry rating is also high. Okay, inductance value is also high. In that case, inductor design becomes very, very difficult in real-time applications. Okay, because of inductors which is used in these applications are for this power electronic converter. Okay, so inductors have two types of ratings: rated current rating and saturation current rating. Okay, so in case under dynamic operating conditions or steady state condition, under load perturbation or under any other dynamic situations, okay, if the operating current will exceed to the saturation current value, your inductor will become short circuited, even for a microsecond. Even if it will be short circuited for a microsecond, your whole converter will burn away. Okay, so in order to protect your power electronic system against the saturation of the inductors, okay, under dynamic operating conditions, you have to properly design your inductor. Okay, so designing of inductor is not an easy task. Okay, optimized inductor. Okay, optimized inductor design is a very complex and difficult task. Okay, so in order to design your inductor in optimized manner, your rated current should be almost equal to the saturation current of your inductor. Okay, now how you may increase the saturation current. Okay, now what is saturation current and what is rated current of inductor? Saturation current means when the core of your inductor gets saturated, the value of the current at which the core of your inductor gets saturated. Okay, that is called the saturation current value of that inductor. Okay, and rated current value means the value of the current at which your winding burns away. Okay, so maximum value of the current against which your winding may withstand is called rated value of the current. Okay, so now how you may increase? The first important thing is the saturation current. Okay, then second is the rated current. So first you have to meet the saturation current requirement. Okay, so if your inductor will not meet the saturation current requirement, and even then if it is having a very good rated current capability, that doesn't matter. Okay, so first you require to meet the saturation current requirement. In second, then you require to meet the rated current, because of if both will not match, in that case rated current value is directly related with the efficiency of the system. Okay, so during an operation of your system, the rated current should not exceed, otherwise your inductor winding will burn away. Okay, so in order to protect your winding against the high temperature, okay, and losses during the operation, you should design your inductor within the rated current values. Okay, you have to take care of the rated current values of your inductor during your operation. Okay, so first we have to take care of the saturation current values. Okay, so saturation current of any inductor depends on the magnetic circuit of that inductor. Okay, so how we can increase, okay, in a layman language, how we can increase the saturation current value of any inductor? We may increase by increasing the size of the core. Okay, so core, whatever you are having, whatever the type of core you are having, because of the availability of the core for inductor design is also very, very limited. Okay, so and people have a very less knowledge about the materials, type of materials for the inductor cores in India, throughout the world. Okay, so I have worked for many years in this area also, in inductor design and transformer design also. So it is even after working for many years in India in this area, I find a lot of difficulty in selecting the cores. Okay, and we don't have that much of good equipment for checking the quality of the cores. Okay, so we have to rely on the vendor only. So whatever information has been supplied by the vendor, we trust them. Okay, then according to that we design, then we check the efficiency. Then after testing efficiency, we got some idea about the quality of that core. Okay, so however, whatever the core you are having, if you want to increase the saturation current rating of that core, you should increase the air gap. You should put some air gap in that core. Okay, so for that air gap, what you can do, you may put some plastic wedge or some hard paper wedges, okay, in the core. Okay, so core should be broken from somewhere. Okay, so it should not be a complete circuit, magnetic circuit. There should be some air gap. Okay, and air gap, in that air gap we put some plastic wedges or some hard papers. Okay, so to provide it mechanical strength. Okay, so whenever the air gap will come in the core, saturation current rating will increase. Okay, significantly. Okay, so as you will increase this air gap, the saturation current rating of that inductor will significantly improve. Okay, but when you will increase the saturation current value of any inductor by inserting air gap into it, its efficiency will be reduced, because of it will cause a loss of heat loss across that open area, air gap area. Okay, so because of those losses, your inductor winding will get heated up. Okay, so when losses will increase, then it will reach to the rated current value of the inductor. Now the rated current value of the inductor will come into the picture. So as if you will increase the saturation current value of your inductor, of your converter, by putting some air gap, in that case the rated current value will decrease. Rated current value of the same inductor will decrease because of more heat will be generated. Okay, so what is the optimum value? Optimum value where the rated current and saturation current both become almost equal. Okay, so then you may optimally utilize your inductor. So that is all about the inductor designing. But however, if you require a 10 millihenry inductor for 30-40 ampere current ratings, it is really very difficult to make it available for 40 kilohertz or 50 kilohertz operation, and for 4 to 8 millihenry inductance and 40, 50 to 100 ampere current ratings. Okay, so usually the electric vehicles require very high current rating, particularly in dynamic operating conditions. So it becomes very difficult for designing of inductor in such applications. Okay, so some people may also work in this area. This is really very important area as far the stability of your controller for electric vehicle system or any other system is concerned. Okay, so as far as the stability is concerned, the designing of inductor and saturation current capabilities of your inductor both are very, very important. Okay, and the material of definitely material of your inductor will also play an important role in the stability of your system. So that is all about the inductors used in the converter circuit. Okay, so there are two fundamental methods for the PMBL-DC motor drive control. Okay, first is the you may vary or adjust the speed of the PMBL-DC motor by adjusting the DC bus voltage. Okay, So if you will vary the DC bus voltage of the inverter or voltage source inverter of that BLDC drive, its speed will vary because of speed of the BLDC motor is proportional to the DC bus voltage. Okay. So by increasing or decreasing DC bus voltage, by increasing or decreasing the value of DC bus voltage, we may vary the speed smoothly. We may vary the speed of the BLDC motor. Okay. And another type of control technique for speed control of the BLDC motor drive is the PMBLDC. Okay. Sorry, PWM technique. Okay. So you may also use PWM technique. In that case, we keep a constant DC bus voltage in voltage source inverter. Okay. So DC link voltage remain constant in such cases. And what we do, we operate these 6 switches of inverter in PWM fashion. Okay. So during one on time, number of time, suppose coil A is being energized. So the coil A will be energized many times in it's one cycle. Okay. So because of we'll apply some PWM pulses. Okay. So in such cases, by adjusting the duty cycle of the PWM pulses and by changing the switching frequency and duty cycle of those PWM pulses, we may vary the speed of the BLDC motor drive. Okay. So another method available is the variation in the DC bus voltage. Okay. So if you will use DC bus voltage variation method, you require to operate your voltage source inverter at fundamental switching frequency only. Okay. So the switching frequency of your voltage source inverter will be very, very less in comparison to PWM technique. Okay. So because of there are 6 switches in the voltage source inverter and switching frequency will be reduced. So the switching losses in the voltage source inverter of that BLDC drive will be very, very less. Okay. So definitely it is preferable to have a DC bus voltage adjustment drives, and throughout the world people have worked in this area. Okay. And Professor Sanjeev Singh has also worked an excellent work in this area, and I think so he has started this area in India. Professor Sanjeev Singh, while he was working at IIT Delhi, so he was also the senior coordinator of this course. He has done very good work in this area. He has started working on the speed control of BLDC motor drives by adjusting the DC bus voltage of that voltage source inverter. Okay. So now if you are supplying an adjustable DC bus voltage to your voltage source inverter in order to achieve an adjustable speed of your BLDC drive, you have to have some DC-DC converter. Okay. So this DC-DC converter will supply an adjustable voltage to the voltage source inverter. Okay. So now the point will come to the DC-DC converter, because of if you have chosen a fundamental switching frequency operation of voltage source inverter, okay, and you are adjusting the speed of your BLDC motor by varying the DC link voltage, then important thing will become the DC-DC converter. Because of DC-DC converter you require, which will supply an adjustable voltage to the voltage source inverter. Okay. So now next point came to the DC-DC converter. Okay. So third one is the input AC. So input AC will not be there actually. Instead of this rectifier, we have to replace this by the battery in electric vehicle system. Okay. So in electric vehicle system, there will be battery which will supply the DC voltage. Okay. And that DC bus voltage, there is no difference in the input section. Just these rectifier and AC source will be replaced by battery, and then battery will supply the same DC power. Okay. So remaining system will be remain same. So this DC bus, this DC-DC converter, which is used to supply an adjustable DC bus voltage to the voltage source inverter, that design of this DC-DC converter also plays an important role now, because of the whole efficiency will depend on this DC-DC converter only. Because of now the IGBT switches of voltage source inverter are operating at fundamental switching only. Okay, because of it, these are operating at fundamental switching frequency only. So only the switch of this DC-DC converter will operate at high frequencies. We have only now we have only one switch which is operating at high switching frequencies, and remaining all other switches has been switching frequency has been reduced because of now they are operating at fundamental switching frequency, and so the overall losses in the system will be significantly reduced. In such cases, the overall losses in the system will be significantly reduced because of you are operating only one switch at high frequency instead of operating all the 6 switches at high frequency for PWM. Okay. So now if we come to the DC-DC converter side, there are hundreds of topologies are reported in the literature. Okay. So among them, some topologies are based on the buck converter, some are on boost converter, some are on buck boost converter. So definitely the topologies with buck converters are not preferred in most of the cases because of the in buck converters you draws an intermittent current from the system. Okay, so the stability of the system becomes very poor in such cases. Okay, so for such situation, definitely you should go for boost converter or buck boost converter. Although the boost converter are better than the buck boost converter in most of the applications, but in case if you want to reduce the voltage, then there is no option. You have to go for buck boost converter. Okay. Now, in all these fundamental topologies, under these topologies, there are number of hundreds of topologies are also reported in the literature. So one of the major topology which may be considered for electric vehicle BLDC motor drive is a CSC based converter, canonical switching cell based DC-DC converter. Okay, so we have developed one modified CSC converter. Okay, canonical switching cell converter. Okay, the major advantage with this topology, what we have proposed and what we have developed is that it has inductors at input and output side both. Okay, so it is having the inductors at input side and output side at both the sides, so that input and output current, both the current will be almost continuous and ripple free. Okay, so that because of the output inductor is also there, so definitely it will supply a ripple free current to the DC bus voltage. So the ripples in the DC motor drive will be significantly reduced, so that we have placed the inductor at the input side as well as at the output side. Okay, so that is the beauty of this system, that we have removed all the filters. Okay, and all the even the ripples due to the switching of this IGBT switch in this DC converter will also be settled down using this output inductor. Okay, so however the operation of the BLDC drive would not be affected by the switching transients of this IGBT switch in this DC-DC converter, because of we are having a very large value of inductors and capacitors. This is not like a normal DC-DC converter. Okay, so designing of a normal DC-DC converter is not that much difficult, because of they don't require the inverter at inductor operation at high current ratings. Okay, in these in such applications, we require the operation of inductor at very high operating current values. So in such cases, saturation current creates a major limitation in the operation of these systems in real time. Okay, so in order to protecting the system by entering into the saturated region of operation, we placed two inductor at input side and output side, because of now they will take care of the smoothness of the current input side and output side. So another advantage of this scheme is in this CSC converter based topology, the stored energy in the inductor and capacitor are very high. Okay, so because of stored energy is very high in this DC-DC converter, definitely the operation of the BLDC motor will be better, particularly in load perturbation situation or any other dynamic operating conditions. Okay. So as far as the switching sequence of the IGBTs or voltage source inverter is concerned, there is a electronic commutation circuitry. Okay. So although we may operate sensorless mode also, in sensorless mode of operation also through this BLDC motor drive system, but here we have used conventional position sensor based system. Okay. So Hall effects sensors are mounted in the PMBLDC motors itself. Okay. Usually all the PMBLDC motors comes in the market with the Hall effect sensor mounted on in it for the position sensing. Okay. So on the basis of the information supplied by the Hall effect position sensors, the electronic commutation circuitry generates the switching pulses for the 6 IGBTs of the voltage source inverter for PMBLDC motor drive system. Okay. So as far as the control of this DC-DC converter is concerned, okay, in this case you only require to control the DC bus voltage. Okay. So because of this DC bus voltage will present the speed of the motor. Okay. Because of DC bus voltage is definitely proportional with the speed of the DC bus PMBLDC motor. Okay. So we will take the input about the output voltage of, will provide the information about the output voltage of the DC converter to the controller, and the DC bus voltage, actual DC bus voltage compared with the reference DC bus voltage, and reference DC bus voltage has been produced using reference speed. Okay. So that reference DC bus voltage compared with the actual DC bus voltage, and error may be processed through some PI controller, may be processed through some sliding mode controller. So if you want more better stability, okay, but you don't require that much accuracy, and stability is more important for you, in such cases you should go for a sliding mode control. Otherwise, if you require very good accuracy, then you should go for the PI control. Okay. So mean that error is processed through this PI controller, and output of PI controller is used to generate the PWM pulses for the IGBT being used for this DC-DC converter. So the converter is operating in continuous conduction mode during its operation. So this DC-DC converter may be operated in a continuous conduction mode as well as in discontinuous conduction mode. Okay. But discontinuous conduction mode is useful in very low power applications, because of in high power application, medium power application, the stress on the switches becomes very, very high. Okay. So this discontinuous conduction mode has its own advantages, okay, technically, but if the power rating of the system exceeds to 400 volt, 400 watt, then beyond 400, 500 watt, you have to go for the continuous conduction mode. Okay. So because of, we have proposed this topology for the domestic or electric vehicle applications. So in such cases, in domestic application or electric vehicle application, you have to go for the continuous conduction mode operation only, because of usually the operating power levels are more than the 500 watt, maybe 2 kilowatt, 3 kilowatt, okay, depending on the rating of the motor. Okay. So this converter has less stress on the converter devices due to continuous conduction mode of operation. The input and output currents of the converter are continuous because of the presence of inductor at both the sides. Okay. Because of inductors we have put on both the sides, as I had discussed also. The presence of the inductor makes the system highly suitable for PMBLDC motor drive for various applications. Okay. So this single converter is used for both power factor correction and speed control. So if the same PMBLDC drive is not being used in electrical drive system, if it is being used in other applications like domestic applications, in that case, the same converter may also be used for the power factor corrections. Okay. Although this is not required in the electric drive application, because of in electrical drive application, you already have the battery as a DC source. because if you have battery as a DC source, then you don't require any power factor correction schemes. Okay. However, it may be incorporated in the system if your PMBLDC motor drive is being used in some other applications. Okay. Means which is not concerned with the transportation system. In any transportation system, power factor correction is not required in DC BLDC motor drive, because of transportation system always moves continuously, so you may not supply conventional AC power to that transport system for its operation, except electric traction system. Okay, so otherwise you have to have a battery as an input DC source. Okay, in electric vehicle applications. So, but however, you may also, if you are using, because of PMBLDC motor drive have all other number of applications also. So if PMBLDC motor, one thing is also important, if you are going for a PMBLDC motor drive for electric vehicle applications, in such cases, its rotor should be external. Okay, and stator will be inner side. Okay, and rotor will be in the outer side like a fan. Okay, so but in other conventional PMBLDC motors, usually rotor is at the inner side and stator in the outer side. Okay, so but in electric vehicle applications, situation is reversed. So rotor is in the output side and stator is in the input side. Okay. So since the ripple in the output current of the converter is very less, which in turn reduces the torque ripple of the PMBLDC motor drive system. Okay. So because of in motor, current variation is more important than the voltage variation. Okay. So any system which is based on inductors or magnetic field. Okay. So any system whose operation is based on magnetic circuit, there is always important to control the current. Okay, so if there will be any ripple in the current, then that system will become unstable. Okay, in such cases where you are using windings, okay, for operation, then you have to control the current. Okay, so in this particular type of topology, we have very less input and output current ripples, so that definitely the torque ripple in the PMBLDC motor drive system is also very less. Okay. The Hall effect sensor based electronic commutation of the PMBLDC motor drive is implemented in the system at fundamental switching frequency. Because of we are adjusting the speed of the PMBLDC motor drive using DC bus voltage control, so we don't require to vary the switching frequency of the IGBTs of the voltage source inverter. Okay, so definitely your voltage source inverter will be operated at the fundamental frequency. So that will significantly reduce the switching losses. Okay, so this significantly improve the efficiency achieved by the reducing the switching losses of the voltage source inverter. The fundamental mode of operation of the PMBLDC motor drive is used in the system that significantly improve the efficiency of the system. The Hall effect based sensor position detection scheme is utilized to extract the initial position, and signals from the Hall effect position sensors are fed to the voltage source inverter through electronic commutation block to reduce the switching losses. This is the photograph of the experimental setup. Okay, we have done this setup at IIT Delhi PG Machine Laboratory. Okay, so we have done last year. We have done this setup. Okay, in 2019 we have one of my PhD scholar has developed this setup. Now the working of this DC converter, which is used to make an adjustable DC bus voltage for this voltage source inverter, which in turn control the speed of the PMBLDC motor drive. Okay. So because of now we are having one switch only in DC-DC converter. So okay. So one thing again I will emphasize here that this AC source and this rectifier both will be replaced by a battery, okay, in the electric vehicle applications, okay. But in domestic application, other applications where the system is being fed through the grid, okay, or from some standalone AC source, in that case, definitely this rectifier system will be there. So, but in electric vehicle application, this up to this DBR, AC source and DBR will be replaced by a battery. Okay. So, however, but the operation of the this DC-DC converter will remain same. It doesn't matter for the DC-DC converter whether this DC is coming from the battery or from the rectifier. It doesn't matter for this DC-DC converter. Okay. So now we'll discuss the working of this DC-DC converter. We are having a switch only in this DC-DC converter. We have only single switch. Okay. So now because of we are having only one switch only. So there are two possible operating situations. First is the when switch is in on condition. Second is when switch is in off condition. When switch will be in on condition, switch will be in on condition when gate pulses will be applied. Okay. So when gate pulses will be applied to this IGBT, so definitely this will be turned on and current will flow through this IGBT switch. Okay. And voltage across this IGBT switch will become zero. Voltage across the IGBT switch will become zero. Means collector to emitter voltage of the IGBT will become zero when on condition. And the current through Li, okay, input inductance will increase. Okay, current through the input impedance will increase. Okay, and voltage across the capacitor CT will decrease. Voltage across the capacitor CT will decrease when switch is in on condition, and current through inductor LT input LTI will also increase. Means there are two important inductor, LT and LTI. Okay, so LTI is the input inductor. So and LT is the loop inductance. So LT and LTI both, current through LT and LTI both will increase when switch will be in on condition. Okay, and the voltage across the capacitor, okay, CT will reduce. Okay, and output voltage will also reduce. Okay. Now come to the next mode of operation of this switch. Means when switch is in off condition. When the switch will be in off condition, the gate voltage will be zero definitely during this period. Because of gate voltage has been made zero, definitely switch will be in off condition. So because this is fully controlled switch, then any fully controlled switch, if you will remove the gate pulses, means if the gate voltage will become zero, definitely it will be entered into the off condition. So now switch has been entered into the off condition. So switch current also becomes zero. Okay, and voltage across the switch will state of the switch, voltage across the switch increases. Okay, and current through the inductor LT will decrease now. Okay, now current through the inductor LT will decrease because of energy stored in the LT inductor will be transferred to the output capacitor CTO. Okay, CTO. Sorry, capacitor CT. Okay. So the voltage of this capacitor CT will increase. Okay, and current through this input inductor will also reduce. Okay, it will also decrease. Okay, and output voltage of this DC-DC converter will increase in this mode of operation. Okay. So that is all about the two mode of operation of this DC-DC converter. Okay. So this is the this photograph shows the switching sequence. Okay. So Hall sensor position sensing system. So source voltage is represented by VG. Okay. Source current by IG, DC link voltage by VTO, and motor stator current is in phase A is IMA, and motor feedback is EMA in phase A. Okay. So after every 60 degree of one cycle, switching sequence will be transferred from two IGBTs to different two IGBTs. Okay. So different pairs will be turned on. Okay. So in the first section, SA2 and SC1 will be on condition. Okay. Then SC1 will be remain in on condition, but SA2 will be turned off and SP2 will be turned on. Okay. So in third section, SP2 will be remain in on condition, SC1 will be turned off, and in place of SC1, SA1 will be turned on. Now in the next section, SA1 will remain turned on, SB2 will be turned off, and SC2 will be turned on, like this. Okay. So we have well defined the this is well defined switching sequence for the IGBTs of the voltage source inverter, while it operates in fundamental switching mode of operation only. Okay. So these are the simulated results. Okay. So here the DC bus voltage may be adjusted using DC bus DC-DC converter. Okay. So here if the system is being used for the other than the electric vehicle applications, in that case definitely the change in voltage, if there will be change in the supply voltage, definitely the DC bus voltage will be changed. So in this electric vehicle application, instead of this grid supply, battery voltage will be changed. When battery will be discharged, definitely its output voltage will be changed. But the change in DC bus voltage will not affect the system operation. Okay, so that is shown in this result. Okay, so whenever the load on the DC motor has been suddenly changed, okay, so the speed has been again regulated. Okay, so by adjusting the DC link voltage. Okay, so these are the waveforms of DC bus voltage and phase winding voltages, and this result shows the stress on the switches. It shows the stress on the switches. Okay, voltage and current stress on the switch, that is recorded on the DSO. So lower waveform is the stator current of phase A. IMA is the stator current of phase A, and channel 3 shows the DC bus voltage. Okay, and upper two voltage waveforms are applicable in grid connected system, that is not applicable to the electric vehicle system, because of in electrical vehicle already there will be DC source battery only. Okay, and see the channel 4 again is showing the stator current, okay, in dynamic operating condition, and in this condition, this is a starting condition where the DC bus voltage is smoothly increasing. So it is, this result is showing there is no fluctuation in the PMVL DC motor drive during the starting. So here the case is shown for the grid supply voltage change, but the same will be applicable because of if there will be change in battery voltage, definitely the system will be regulated, okay, against that. So here, if you want to change the speed, then you have to change the DC link voltage reference. In that case, definitely, still this result shows that system is stable in such operating conditions. So this is the similar result. So this is not applicable. So see, this is the efficiency, the lower graph shows the efficiency comparison of this modified CSC converter based topology with the other topologies. Okay, so efficiency of this proposed topology was found almost 5% better under all output ratings, okay, of the during operation. Okay, so in comparison to other conventional schemes. So thank you. This is all about the implementation of this scheme. And another one thing I would like to discuss here, that is how to implement using the DSP controller. Okay. So how to implement this control scheme or any other scheme using DSP control, DSpace controller. So in that digital controller, for that you have to develop some control algorithm. Okay. So first you have to sense the input variable parameters. Okay. So depending on the input variable, number of input variables, you have to choose the ADC, number of ADC channel requirement of your DSP controller. Okay. So if you have two input control variables, in that case, you may go for any digital controller or DSP controller or microcontroller which is having minimum 2 ADC channels. Okay. So ADC channel requirement of any controller depends on the number of input control variables in any system. If you have 4 input variable or 6 input variable, so any controller up to the 8 ADC channels is suitable for you. Okay. So in any case, if the number of input variable will exceed to the 8, then you have to go for some digital controller or DSP controller which is having ADCs approximately 16. Okay. So the cost of this system also depends on the number of ADC channels. The cost of the system also depends on the number of the ADC channel requirement. Okay. So a number of ADC channel requirement will be almost equal to the number of sensors, okay, in your system. Okay. So if you increase, if the input input control quantities, input variable will increase, number of input variable will increase, definitely your sensor will increase. So the ADC channel requirement of your control will increase, and so finally the cost of your control will also increase. Okay. So another thing is while you are sensing your control variables, you require some kind of sensors, maybe voltage sensor, current sensor. So usually people use Hall effect based sensors. Okay. So Hall effect sensor based sensor are used because of they perform linearly at any range. Okay. Although we put some scaling resistance, some measurement resistance in with that Hall effect based sensor, current sensor, voltage sensor, the value of that measurement resistance decides the sensitivity range of sensitive operation. Okay, like suppose if I have selected a measurement resistance of such value which make my voltage sensor more sensitive at approximately 1000 volt. Okay, so if the maximum operational voltage of your system is 900 volt, 900 volt, 950 volt, or 980 volt, definitely you should select a measurement resistance for your voltage sensor of 1000 volt, corresponding to the 1000 volt. Okay. Similarly, we are having one measurement resistance current sensing also. Okay. So in which range you require maximum sensitivity for your current sensor, accordingly you may select your measurement resistance for the current sensor. Okay. Another thing is the minimum sampling time for the voltage sensors is quite high, okay, in comparison to current sensors. Okay, so now minimum sampling time requirement of the voltage sensor will also put capping on the maximum resolution of your system. Okay, because of whenever you will start your DSP controller, first it will ask you for setting of sampling time. Okay, so you may increase the resolution of your control, quality of your control by reducing the sampling time of your control. Okay, but if you want to reduce your sampling time, your controller should be capable of executing your control algorithm within that period. Okay, suppose if you have a set a sampling time of 40 microsecond, okay, but your controller is not capable of executing the whole control algorithm in 40 microsecond, then your system will become fail. Okay, means your controller will not be able to control the system. So definitely your sampling time should be more than the minimum time required by the controller to execute the loop. Okay. Now, for a given algorithm, definitely minimum sampling time will be well defined. Okay. Even then, if you want to improve the efficiency by reducing the sampling time, then you will have two choices. One choice, you may reduce the calculation burden of your control algorithm. Another choice is you may use more powerful controller. In second case, you have to pay for that. Okay. In first case, you have to improve your technical skill. Okay, that will require your energy. Okay, if you are not able to reduce the calculation burden of your control algorithm, then you have to go for a powerful controller. Okay, so by using more powerful controller, you may reduce the sampling time. However, by reducing the sampling time, the resolution of your control will become more and more better. Okay, so that also depends on the particular application. If you require very high resolution, then you have to have more powerful controller and more optimized control algorithms. Okay, you may operate your motor very easily using any control algorithm, but however, if the optimization will come, then definitely it will become very difficult. Then you have to work on so many things, like one sampling time of the system is one of the important in such cases, important aspect. Okay, so another point is, even if you have very powerful controller and your control algorithm is also having very less calculation burden on controller, but even then the resolution may be poor. In such cases, that is because of the sensors. Okay, because of sensors, they have their own minimum sampling time. Okay, so suppose if you are having a sensor, voltage sensor, which required minimum sampling time of 40 microsecond. If your sensor require a minimum sampling time of 40 microsecond, okay, so if you require a minimum sampling time of 40 microsecond, if your sensor required, then even if you have very powerful controller and your control algorithm calculation burden is also very less, even then you will not be able to improve the resolution. That is also important, because of while implementing such system, people face a lot of difficulties because of they don't have the information about the voltage sensors. Okay, so in such cases, your voltage sensors you should select the voltage sensor of such type which require very less sampling time. Because of the sampling time, minimum sampling time of your voltage sensor will put a capping on the regulation of your system. Okay, so anyhow, that is why the selection of the sensor is also very, very important in the electric vehicle drive control not only in this BLDC motor drive control, in any type of control, in any type of controller, in any type of motor, sensors will be definitely there. So the selection of the sensors may affect the resolution of your system, quality of your system, the dynamic performance of your system. Definitely the dynamic performance of your system will mainly depend on the sensor. In my opinion, sensor selection is more important than the selection of the controllers. Okay, so the selection of the sensor is very important. So you should select a very good quality sensors if you want to improve the dynamic response of your system. First, you have to improve at the sensor side. Then you should take care of the algorithm and the controller. Okay. Mathematical calculation capability of the controller. So then now controller will execute the control algorithm, then it will generate the gating pulses, and those gating pulses will be applied to the IGBT switches of the power electronic converter. Now you have to have some isolation in between the control circuit and power circuit. Usually optocoupler 6 and 136 optocoupler based optical isolations are used in IGBT or MOSFET based applications. Okay, but in although in thyristor based applications we use magnetic isolation circuits like pulse transformers, but in IGBT based system mainly we always use optical isolation based system, and that is also very simple. So another thing which is another important aspect, while you are optically isolating the control circuit with the power circuit, is that the ground of the input side of the optocoupler should not be connected to the ground of the output side of the optocoupler. Okay, so both the grounds at the input side supply and at the output side supply of the optocoupler should be electrically isolated from each other. Okay, so if by mistake if you make both the ground common, means input side ground and output side ground of the optocoupler circuit, if you make both the grounds common, in such cases you will not be able to have effective isolation. Okay, so that is very important, that you should have two separate DC power supply, one for the input circuit of that optocoupler and one for the output side circuit of the optocoupler. Okay, now come to the DC bus capacitor. Okay, the selection of the DC bus capacitor depends on the two important values: capacitance requirement, means microfarad requirement, and operating voltage requirement. Okay, so usually you pay for the voltage, operating voltages in capacitors. Okay, as you will increase the operating voltage, cost will become more and more high. Okay, because of you pay very less for high microfarads. Usually you always pay for the high voltage levels. Okay, so if you will increase the operating voltage rating of the DC bus voltage, definitely the cost of your capacitor will become very high. Okay, but at the same time, if your operating voltage is high, then current will be less, so the cost of your inductor will become less. Okay, so as if you will increase the operating voltages at the DC bus side, definitely the cost of capacitor will increase, but cost of inductor will decrease. But if the DC bus voltage, operational DC bus voltage are less, in such cases capacitor will be cheaper, but the cost of inductor will become very high. Okay, so but preferable to have high voltage system. Okay, unless and until there is no limitation from the system side, we should go for a high voltage DC bus system only, because of in such cases current requirement will be less. So because of current requirement will be less, so saturation current problem of the inductors will not be there. Okay, because of designing of inductor will become very easy, okay, and simple in such cases. That is the capacitor selection. but usually in market capacitors are available up to 450 450 volt. Okay, with 4700 microfarad, 2200 microfarad, 1000 microfarad. These are available up to 450 volt usually. So if you are using such system, if you are using operating your system at 700 volt, then you should connect two capacitor in series. In order to increase the voltage level, you should connect two capacitor in series, so the total voltage bearing capability will be doubled. So one capacitor is having voltage blocking capability, voltage operating voltage of 450 volt. So if you connect two capacitor in series, then they will be able to handle the voltage up to 900 volt. Okay. So usually in many applications, people use DC bus voltage of 900 volt. Okay. Sorry, 700 volt. Okay. Either 400 volt or 700 volt. These two are the common DC voltages. Not in the electric drive application, but in electrical drive applications, this operating voltages are less comparatively, because of for increasing the voltage, operating voltage level, you have to increase number of batteries, and that will cost high. Okay, so in order to reduce the cost of the batteries in the system, we use low voltage systems in electric vehicle, because of voltage rating selection also affect the battery requirement, number of battery requirement of the number of batteries. So that is all about the inductor selection, capacitor selection, IGBT switch selection, okay, and controller selection. Okay, so we have discussed all the aspects related to the selection of the different component of the BLDC motor drive system. Okay, so for electric vehicle application and as well as other applications also. So I feel I have discussed all the issues related to this topic, okay, regarding implementation. So now I want to open this session for the query. Okay, so now you may ask any question, any query if you have in this regard. Participants, please ask if you have any query. You may ask me any question, not only regarding this scheme, related to other schemes also. Are you able to hear me? Participants?
Yes, sir, we are able to hear you.
Yeah. So if you have any queries, you may ask questions regarding implementation of any power electronic converter, not only electric vehicle system, even for other systems, you may also ask any question if you have. I think there is no query. You may ask me any other questions or questions related to other areas also, which belongs to power electronic converter side. Okay, so even if you have any query regarding your research, if you are working in power electronics area, that you may also ask. I think you have no query. Okay, so then means I have 10 more minutes. So further, I would like to discuss about the Snubber circuit requirement of the for the IGBT switches and other power electronic switches in PMLDC drive system. So usually designing of Snubber circuit is also very important because of this Snubber circuit provide protection to the IGBT in dynamic during particularly during turn on and turn off period. Okay, so it divert the energy because of during turn on and turn off the energy transfer very high, so it bypass the energy during turn on and turn off. Okay, so actually practically the turn on and turn off snubbers are separately designed. So designing of turn on snubber is entirely different than that of turn off snubber, but usually in field applications people use only one snubber circuit. So if you will be having 0.022 microfarad capacitor with 1000 volt rating, so that is sufficient to for the as working as snubber protection. Okay, so in field application, in most of the application people use this 0.022 microfarad 1000 volt capacitor. So another important aspect in the implementation side is the PMBLDC driver. Okay, so PMBLDC driver for the IGBT. Okay, so now driver selection is also very important. Number of driver topologies and number of driver circuits are available in the literature and the market for the switching of IGBTs, but the quality and capability of the IGBT driver improves the robustness of the system as well as the stability of the system. Okay, so if you are a new researcher, then you should go for a very good IGBT driver. Okay, but if your algorithm is well established, you have tested number of times your control algorithm, then you may purchase a very cheap and less complex IGBT gate circuit. Okay. So definitely the complexity of the IGBT gate circuitry depends only on the your control algorithm. Okay, so if your control algorithm for the system is well established and tested number of times, then and you found that your algorithm is foolproof and significantly better. Okay, so in such cases you may go for the low cost and less complex IGBT drivers. But if you are a beginner or if you are having an algorithm and you are not very much sure about the performance of that control algorithm, then you should go for high quality IGBT gate drivers like Skyper 32A is a very good quality IGBT drivers available in the market. Semicron is manufacturing. So Semicron is worldwide very good company for manufacturing these gate drivers. So that good quality IGBT driver will be required. So if you will be having a very good quality IGBT driver, so then it will remove all the gate pulses during short circuit and overload operating conditions. During overload operating conditions, short circuit operating conditions, all the pulses from the gates of the IGBT will be removed. Okay, so that it will protect the IGBT against these such overcurrents and short circuits. Okay. Otherwise, if you are if you don't have a well-tested control algorithm, and if you don't have at the same time you also don't have very good quality IGBT gate driver, in such situations it will be dangerous for your IGBT, and you may lose your IGBTs during the operation because of even at one malfunction switching. False switching, all the IGBTs of the converter will burn out. Okay, so in order to protect the IGBTs while you are implementing the new control algorithm, you should have very good quality IGBT gate driver. Okay. So the requirement of the quality of the IGBT gate driver also depends on the control algorithm, whether the control algorithm is a well-known control algorithm or well-established control algorithm, or whether it is a new control algorithm. So usually people working in the research areas use very good IGBT drivers because of they may make mistake, okay, during operation. But as far as the industry people are concerned, they use low cost IGBT drivers because of their control algorithms are well tested, okay, 1,000 times. So definitely, even if your control algorithm is also well tested, you may reduce the quality of the gate circuitry, because of the cost of the gate circuitry depends on its complexity, okay, and quality. So the cost of the gate circuitry may be reduced by testing and your control algorithm. So if you have established control, then you may go for low cost IGBT gate drivers. So that is all about my system. So if you have any query, you may ask question to me now.
So hopefully there is no queries from all the participants. And thank you, Dr. Ujjwal Kalla, on behalf of the team. And you are one of the coordinators. So your contribution is always required in this session and in this FDP. So thanks once again, and hope that participants have got the benefit of his expertise. If there is any query, you can even mail. We will be able to get the solution, or we'll try to answer your queries. Okay. So thank you very much, Dr. Kalla.
Thank you, sir.
And now we have with us